I'm Jeff the Junk Seller, and I'm at Abilene State Park again. I've got to make a couple of presentations while I'm here. The first one's about Canton First Mondays for July of 2025. That sale ran, I was out there from June the 27th to July the 7th. I was out there for 11 days and really didn't get a whole lot of money for my effort. I was able to make my rents, which are about $435, and I was able to walk away with about $500 worth of spending money, which really isn't enough to go out fund the shopping trip. So I wound up, I'm going to have to do a sale a week during this time of the year, and I've got another presentation about going to Bonham that I'll make just after this one. But this sale, this is just really a tough time of the year in Texas, and I have thought that maybe I should take off and go north, but kind of painted myself in the box. Really don't have the finances for that either. So I'm trying to make the best of the situation that I'm in. And at this sale, I was able to make a couple of sales that were over $100 or near to. I was able to sell the 3 glass water jugs that I picked up at the estate sale in Fort Worth. I paid $10 a piece for them. I was able to sell the 3 of them for $80. And then there was the hairless, hairy, bouncy horse. I sold it for $125. I could have got more for it, but the guy that saw it was absolutely in love with it. He knew how rare it was, being that it was made out of composition, and gave him a pretty good deal, and I still made $105 on it. I paid, I think, $20 for it at auction in Illinois. But then I sold 3 powder flasks. 2 of them were brass. I owned those for, God, I think about 4 years. They have just been a tough sell, and I had the one that was made out of horn that I got out of the storage unit recently, and it's I sold those for $140 to a pretty good repeat customer. But I was able to buy 3 books and a couple of photos from a guy that buys storage units. The 2 of the 3 books were early medical books from like the 1850s, and the medical books are about one of the only subjects that I'll buy books in anymore. That and fishing. There may be some others, astrological and magic stuff I'll buy too if it's good and old. And one of the books was a reprint from the Civil War. I was able to sell that to a customer, a young kid that buys a lot of stuff. He's a Civil War reenactor, and I sold it to him for $10. Good customer. I like to try to have something for him every time I see him. But I got a couple of photographs, and I'll give a trigger warning before I put them up. They're a couple of the grossest photographs I ever saw before. They're conjoined twins, conjoined at the face, probably not born alive, but it's just gruesome pictures, and I bought them because that kind of oddity stuff really sells well, and I think that I can probably get $200 for the pair of photos. I'm not sure. I've got to get them cleaned up. They're kind of they have been mishandled, and they need to be cleaned up a bit before I put them on eBay, if I'm able to sell them on eBay. But I was able to, I got some glassware from a friend of mine, a couple of sets of glasses. He sold them to me for $15, and then I took them from him on credit, just like I did the other stuff. I didn't even have money to be shopping, but these were friends of mine, gave this stuff up to me on credit. And Andy had these glasses, and I took them from him, and I was able to sell one of the sets for $25, but before I ever got over there to give him any money, his wife came along and found one of the confirmation certificates from the 1870s that I picked up in Litchfield, Illinois, and she wanted to take that in trade, and I was willing to do that. I think I had $6 or $8 in the certificate. But you know, it was a pretty tough row at Canton. I was able to get out of there with a little bit of money, and made my way over to Bonham, and that'd be the next presentation. But these are pretty tough days here down in the summertime here in Texas. Making your rents, I was, for the longest time at the sale, I was worried that I was going to have to go to the storage unit place and tell them that I was going to become delinquent on my rents. But I made my rent, got to Bonham, and made a little bit of money there too. And that'll be in the next presentation. But if you enjoy this presentation, please give it a like. If you view some of my other material and like that as well, then please subscribe. But thank you for viewing.